Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Okay, so I had the hardest time figuring out who I wanted to jump on their back first. I'm gonna go ahead and start with Marceau and his conversation with Tisha in their kitchen. And y'all, I was just like, really, please, somebody check them because they are out of control right now. Let's first start with the strangest thing. To me, Marceau walked in that house like he ain't seen Tisha and he don't live there. Did did y'all see that, or was y'all peeping that like I was peeping that? And I know there's speculation about them all the time, and I don't really feed into that unless I see things that prove or provide some sort of evidence towards that. But I really feel like Marceau walked in that house like he don't live there. And like Tisha was just like, okay, this is the time he said he about to stop by, so let me make sure I'm ready and stuff like that. Now she didn't have no coffee ready, and probably because she don't really like him like that. But yeah, he walked in the house like he don't really live there. And so she was like, so what was you doing today? He was like, oh, checking out some projects. She was like, oh, okay. Or how did she say it? She said it like, oh, really? That's what you were doing? Like she said it like she had no clue what her husband was up doing that morning. Now I know it's a show and you're supposed to ask your spouse or whoever you're meeting with what they got up, even though you might already know. Like you're having conversations with people about stuff that I'm pretty sure y'all have already had a conversation about. So, but how she said like, oh, okay. Like literally they were conversing with one another like they had not seen each other in a long time. So let's get into their conversation. So Marceau and Tisha's talking about how she's tired of being, well, she's talking to him about how she's tired of being nice and how people are constantly trying to push her buttons and whatever. Of course, Marceau goes into belittling her and telling her, well, do you need to react? You ain't got to do what other people do. And then he's belittling her, talking about, she's like, well, but you keep acting like my feelings are invalid and you keep trying to embarrass me in front of people. And he was like, well, basically, Tisha, you just don't want to take criticism, point blank and period. And that's why I don't even like talking to you. And I mean, just the way that he handles her. Now, a little bit I could understand, just a little bit. He don't have to do it in a disrespectful manner because if that couldn't be me, child. But a little bit I can understand where he's coming from because Tisha likes to play the victim a whole lot. She loves to jump into her victim shoes. And I can see how if you're married to somebody that always does that, how they can just wear on you after a while. You have to say, look, you need to cut it out. So I can understand where he's coming from a little bit, but at the same time, you're her husband. You need to handle her in a more gentle way, in my opinion, because the world can handle her in a harsh way. You as her husband should be handling her in a more gentle way. So, okay, next thing, their conversation. He's like, well, y'all know I don't know why you let people bother you because every time somebody comes at us, you see what happens to them. You see, they getting divorced. Talking about Mel and Martell. You see what happened to Tiffany and Louise. I guess them not being on the show no more. Like, I don't even think the people really even need to be on that show. You see what happened to Kiki, and he said her husband's name, Kiki and such. And it's like, Marceau, if you don't please have several seats, because Marceau and Tisha, the only reason why it appears to other people that people are coming at y'all and y'all still successful and y'all still beating all the odds is because production has set up a protection plan for you all from the beginning, because production knows if they let the truth be shown about what y'all really got going on in y'all household, there literally would be no point of having Love and Marriage for Huntsville, because it's barely a point to have it right now. And if they really show what y'all have going on in y'all marriage, the fact that I feel confident that the two of them do not live together. I feel like they do not live together. We can see that Marceau does not have any respect for Tisha. Tisha's holding on to this idea of a successful marriage and household, even though her husband chooses to check out of that whenever he feels like, if he ever even checks in, to be honest. So, and y'all got lawsuits and stuff like that. that's not being discussed on this show. So please, Marcel, have several freaking seats talking about what happening to other people on the show when they supposedly come for y'all. No, the people don't come for y'all. Y'all stick y'all noses in people's business and try to shade people all the time. You do it, Marcel, and Tisha does it. So quit playing these games like everybody just be coming for y'all marriage and y'all just keep being successful, because that is not the truth. The truth is that y'all got a whole hot mess going on, and production is protecting you all so the whole house of cards don't just go ahead and start crumbling down. I think they've decided that since Mel and Martell was not together, they need to have some sort of, quote, successful looking relationship on that show, and they chose Marceau and Tisha to hold up and try to support them. And the thing about it is now that Stormi and Courtney are on the show, they have decided to start trying to push them as the successful couple on the show. And we'll get into Stormi, and Stormi's feeling herself a little bit on that. And that's pretty much how I see that sort of thing going. Okay, let's get to the second person's back. I don't even want to jump. I want him to just go away. Go away from me with this Martell. So why is Martell on this show? Why is he still hanging around like some little gnat or little roach that you just cannot get rid of? Every time you try to turn on the lights and catch it and spray it successfully hides off someplace. Like, why is he still on this show, y'all? He serves no purpose, but I guess if they want to say like he can be like the new Sheree as being the bone collector on this show. But it's not that, y'all. He's just annoying. He's constantly going from place to place to place, trying to figure out some listening ear that will let him bash his ex-wife. If he's not doing that, he's trying to expose other people's business, that what they have going on, and drop little notes here and there about what other people got going on. And I know to some of that can be entertaining, but overall, it's just really annoying to see. He does not add anything to this show. And even with the idea, I do like that he spills a couple of people's tea. That is nice. But at the same time, it's like, if you ain't going to tell all of it, just kind of just shut up. Shut up and go away. I mean, pretty much that's how I'm feeling with Martell. Like, if you ain't going to tell all of it, then just shut up and go away. Because he uses everything that he knows as leverage. And if you make him mad, then he might say something. But if you help him bash his ex-wife, then he'll keep your little secret. So I'm just kind of like, just go away somewhere, Martell. So they showed Martell, and I'm not going to go scene for scene, because some of this stuff was kind of like, y'all just need to put all this in one episode instead of pushing it out to the next episode here and stretching stuff out. So it's kind of getting annoying. But let's talk about Martell. He's out there with Chris and Courtney, and basically he out there crying about how Nell didn't invite him to her birthday party. Talking about some, I don't understand why. I don't get it. Why? I mean, every time me and her in the same place, there's no problems. There's no issues. Dude, we got several, just on the show alone, not even what happens behind the scenes when we're not around, the camera's not around, you doing your real snake stuff. We seen on camera how every time you trying to jump in that woman's face and disrespect her. Even Chris had to look at him like, what, huh? Y'all have it's peace every time y'all come to each other's space. He just trying to make it seem like, oh, Melody's the one with the problem. Boy, okay, we 3-4 seasons in on that. Stop that. You say that and then you show up and do the exact opposite. Like, y'all see what I'm saying? Like, it's just getting annoying. Like, why is he here anymore? So then let's go and talk about how when he meets up with Trisha. Now, I feel like this was a very interesting scene here. First, he tries to drop notes about how Marceau at that, I think it's supposed to be the movie theater or wherever, some entertainment place, but he was working at, how Marceau used to have these little kind of like, if you will, underground parties. He would let some of the females there, workers there, have little, quote, private parties, whatever. And he was basically saying like, yeah, he had the women going to this thing. And he tells Trisha he would have had you too. And she was like, no, he wouldn't have. Don't even try that. And y'all, this whole time that Martell was meeting with this lady, he was being extremely disrespectful the entire time. I was so annoyed sitting there watching that. He was so disrespectful and childish. I could not stomach it at all. Like, I was just like, please, production, cut this scene. And I think Trish was so, I think one, she was probably like a little thrown back about how annoying Martell could actually be, because a lot of people believe he dresses in these nice suits. He shows and pretends like he's got some sense. And his wife, his ex-wife, Melody, has propped him up for so long to look a certain way that people actually have a hard time not believing that that clown is a clown. And he's not really put together and pulled up, and he's not professional. He's not, the man don't really have any integrity, even though y'all have believed that he had for so long, because his wife helped him look that way, his ex-wife now. And so she's dealing with him. And this is another thing that annoyed me about her response. She was like, well, yeah, Melody was grilling me and she was talking this and this and that. And he was like, yeah, well, you know, that's what she do or whatever. And she was like, well, I should have been grilling her back. I'm like, girl, what you gonna grill her with? Like, what you gonna grill Melody with? What tea or do you know about her? Because you don't know anything, especially if you listen to that clown Martell, and especially if you listen to Stormy, because Stormy is not nowhere near Mel's friend. So Stormy don't know nothing about Mel. So where you gonna get your tea from to grill Melody about anything? I'm like, Trish, you need to chill. You need to chill, Miss Mamas. You need to chill, because you doing too much. You barely on the show without your tea really not getting spilled, because you got a lot going on, Trish. You really need to calm down with all that. Talking about you gonna grill somebody, girl. I was like, I know she didn't say should she have been grilling Melody. I'm like, with what? You should definitely not grill nobody, Trisha. You got way too much going on to try to come for anybody on what they got going on. So anyway, she says that. Then Martell goes into, he was like, oh, you Chris's cousin? He starts laughing to his little dumb, immature laugh. That's funny. Imagine the whole time you his family. Imagine that. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, so you was the one. Yeah, I was about to get introduced to you. And she's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? He's like, nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Never mind. Never mind. Don't worry about it. So basically, y'all, I was like, oh, okay, I see what happened. I feel like Trish was probably out somewhere looking how she looks, because she's got a wonderful body. She's a gorgeous woman. So I'm sure she was out somewhere looking how she looks. Okay. Chris probably saw her and was like, oh, she's in the gym. She's a nice looking lady. Maybe you should holler at her. That's what I think was going to happen. That's why Martell thought it was so funny that Chris was talking about, more than likely giving very in-depth male details about what Trish looked like to Martell. And Martell thinks it's funny that he was talking about Trish in that way, just for it to turn out that Trish is actually his cousin. And he was talking about her in a certain type of sexual manner to Martell about this lady. And Martell thinks it's ironic and funny. That's what I picked up from that, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think happened. But yeah, so then he decides to go into bashing Trish about, oh, now you got a side dude. Yeah, that's what all of them say. But you was still married though. And she's like, no, we was separated, but we just have. He was like, well, still, you was still married. Once again, y'all, why is he here? Like, why is he here? How does he have any room to talk about anybody doing anything with anybody while they married? Like, what is the point? Production, what is the point of this? What really is the point? It's just annoying. Get him off of here. He has no purpose on the show. I am sick of seeing him. So he goes back and forth with her about that. Then he keeps being disrespectful, calling Ken a side dude. I'm like, what I would like to see him keep calling and being disrespectful to Ken in his face, calling him a side dude. That's what I want to see, because Martell think he's big, bad, and tough. I want to see him do that to Ken. I want him to get in Ken's face and keep calling him a side dude and see what happens. Because I got a feeling that Ken is one of those ones out of all the men on this show. I feel like Ken is the one that will not play with you. I feel like he will quickly lay hands on you. I really feel like that, and I really would like to see it because I'm so sick of Martell. Like, please get him off this show. So that's their conversation there. And then afterwards, Trish was like, she was like, in her confession, she was like, it wasn't that bad. It was okay working out with Martell. I just would never do it again. I'm like, yeah, I hope you don't. And I hope you learn a valuable lesson, because a lot of y'all women, I feel like I don't understand why y'all so quick to give this clown the benefit of the doubt, and so quick to not give his ex-wife the benefit of the doubt. And then y'all get in this clown's face and he disrespect y'all, and then be like, oh, okay, I see what people were saying. You should have been seeing that in the first place. You should have been at least trying to weigh the options about how his personality really is in the first place, instead of just being so quick to give him the benefit of the doubt, and then he shows up and embarrasses himself and you. So that's how that goes. Let's get on to, and I'm about to wrap this up because this episode here was mostly just annoying for me. Let's jump into Melody and Stormi meeting up real quick here. Stormi knows she's fake as hell for acting like she was really wanting Melody to come to her lovers and friends event, because Stormi knew as soon as she invited Martell and made it a priority for Martell to be there, that Melody wasn't going to show up. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Point blank, and the period. She knew that Melody was not going to come if Martell was going to be there. Stormi made a concerted decision, to decide to bring Martell over Melody. And y'all know that's more than likely true, because she's being BFFs with Destiny, and Destiny is BFFs with Martell. So y'all know that's how it really played out. They didn't want Melody there anyway, and if Melody was going to be there, they was only going to have her there to try to throw egg on her face. So Melody made a good decision, like, well, in that case, the deuces, I will not be in attendance. And that's what Stormi wanted anyway. Stormi wanted to look like the good guy, but she didn't really want Melody there. Let's just be honest. So anyway, y'all, then later on, there's a sit down with Melody and Marsau. I'm going to wait till next episode comes out to really review that, because I feel like they didn't really get into, in my opinion, they didn't really get into much on that. So I'm going to wait till the next episode to really discuss that, because y'all know Marsau was clowning and not holding himself accountable while he trying to talk about his wife not holding herself accountable. He don't hold himself accountable, and he be playing games. He think he's smarter than the average bear when he's not. So anyway, y'all, that's all for me. If y'all like my commentary, please give me a like. Please give me a subscribe. And let's get to that 1,000. If you all like this commentary, just, give me a like and let YouTube know that you like my commentary. So thank you so much, y'all. Subscribe, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye-bye for now.